Peggy 16.
Hey Planetside 2 players, my name is Kyle Ryan. I'm the Vice President of Technology here at Sony Line, and I'm here to talk to you about the Planetside 2 optimizations. So, I know you guys have seen the tweets from SMED, you guys have heard some of the noise that's been going on as we've tried to do Command Center.
Dude, I cannot wait to find out what happens on next week's episode of Operation Make Faster Game. Holy
it's going to be amazing,
Dude.
I think it's probably going to make the game faster.
What we're going to do is we're going to document this, just like we were talking about in Command Center last time. We're going to expose a little bit of ourselves, what we do and how we do it, talk about some of the specifics about the changes that we're making and how we're going to make Planetside run faster.
We wanted to talk to you separately.
You know what this is about.
My name is Ryan Elam. I am the technical director for Planetside 2. Basically the guy that goes to the scrums every day and listens to what's going on, what the guys are working on, what problems they're running into, channel those around to the various teams. There are a lot of teams working on this. They're all over the company. And we've got to basically marshal all those forces together, make sure everyone's working on the thing that they should be working on, and if they run into any problems, make sure that we can beat those problems out of the way.
All right, start with you. What's going on?
We are continuing our optimization efforts in various fronts. One thing that I found after looking at the new AMP profiler is we are doing input processing on the HUD, even when the mouse is not visible. It's trying to find the topmost entity, so it's probably using some sort of recursive situation to do that every frame. And sometimes the hit can be as much as 0.3, 0.4 milliseconds. We don't need to do that. So I'm going to work with Josh on kind of only doing some of those checks on the swifts that are open if the mouse is out.
So with a live game, a lot of times it's hard to actually find the time to break the leg before you can set it again. Because essentially you have a game where people are in it all the time. They expect it to work all the time. Every change has to be bookended so that it can be out and live quickly. And that just wasn't going to fly for some of the things that we needed to actually fix in this game. So we took a step back. We looked at where the frame rate was. We looked at the things that we needed to fix. And we said, this is going to take serious time. And at that point, SMED said, you guys take the time. Everyone on the team, get behind making the game faster.
This is Rich Jane, everybody.
Hey.
You got to make it fast too. Like usually people take like 20 minutes.
I should have shaved.
Should have shaved.
Alright, so I was looking at some of the spikes in the overhead kind of timing block, and it turns out a lot of the spikiness that we think we see is actually just things that are in that big overhead pile of stuff happening not at frame level but at like 10 frames or 100 frames or 1,000 frames. So you'll get that kind of stuff as these things kind of kick off at different times. Yeah. So I try to break out that a little bit to smooth out the different timings, and lo and behold, a lot of the spiking just went away.
So we're here today in the fishbowl where we often meet with the programmers to talk about the progress, what tasks are working, what's not working, what we need to do next.
So today we're doing the last step of the packet analysis profiling tool, where we're going to convert the packet IDs that we have into a readable string. So it's easy if one pops up, you can tell exactly what packet is causing an issue. So also I'll put some telemetry tags and stuff like that. Rob had some suggestions there, but then that should be usable by today, hopefully.
Sweet. Awesome. Both the telemetry and the visual? Or?
Well, yeah, because the telemetry tags are really easy to add.
Yeah.
It's like a single line. So.
Sweet. That'll be really nice. So at this point, the programmers are working on several different tasks. Things that come up on our profilers, like rendering and physics, the user interface, and the time that it takes. And I did notice, maybe that's what I saw yesterday, something's creating shaders a lot, like something within scale form is causing D3D to create a shader when you do different things. So maybe that's what's creating the hitching, is for some reason it thinks it needs a whole bunch of shaders. So one of the major parts of this optimization is to go through every single system and figure out how we can better use the multiple cores on your machine. Right now we do have things like sound and physics and animation and loading in their own threads, but a lot of times the main thread ends up just waiting on those operations to finish, which results in it looking like nothing's really going on your CPUs, and also a reduction in frame rate.
I was working on the UI yesterday, so you could load in an XML, so you can have load in which instructions that you want to go in. You can switch between either the dumb brain or the instruction brain.
So in going through the various systems that take time on the main thread, we have found areas that were going to be a significant improvement in frame rate, but we're going to also take a significant amount of time to get done. And those are a lot of the things that, now that we have the time, we're doing.
Yeah, I've gotten a quick look at our cache coherency so far, and it looks fairly good. I mean, there's not crazy amounts of cache bloat. We're not like doing the stupidest thing ever and looping the wrong way around a matrix or something like that all the time. Most of our L3 cache stuff is pretty minimal. We're hitting cache when we need to, it looks like. Nothing's ridiculously crazy. But I want to see if I can get an export of that as a baseline so we can see if we're changing that behavior as well.
So anyway, we're going to have a lot more of these videos. You guys are going to see all aspects of this process. We know you've been very, very patient. We want to reward that patience with sort of a glimpse inside how we get this done. We want there to be no more secrets. We want you guys to be able to discuss facts instead of opinions. I mean, it's just in all of our best interest to get this information out to you. And now would you guys please go away?
Sony.